Hey everyone, it's Birth Video, and I'm here, and this is my review for The Electric State, the new film directed by the Russo brothers, and starring an ensemble cast that includes Millie Bobby Brown and Chris Pratt in the lead roles. If I had to give one word for this film, it would be this: soulless. This is a movie that looks kind of interesting. There's some cool things to look at. There's some iconic imagery that you will see all over the place here. There is wall-to-wall special effects that look pretty decent. And the story is pretty much like a retro futuristic story where we're seeing something futuristic happening in the 90s, and there's 80s references and pop culture items that are, scattered all over the place here. And it's a very familiar story. Very familiar story. It feels like they just threw in all these robots and humans storylines into a blender, and instead of making a smoothie, they ended up making this like sludge of some sorts. The Electric State is a 4 out of 10 for me. For a film that costs over $300 million, apparently, and rumored to be that expensive, I get it. I understand why. Because of the special effects and because of all the iconic things that they've had all over the place here. Having Mr. Peanut as one of the main characters was kind of cool, I guess, but not really necessary. The performances are, not as good as you want them to be because the writing's not that great here. Again, just because a movie looks cool doesn't mean that the story is going to be great. The Russo brothers, after, their MCU films, have kind of faltered, and they've kind of, I don't know, they've kind of hit this wall in terms of visually they're still doing interesting things, but I think story-wise they're not really delivering stories that really are interesting or, that I care about. There's not one moment in this movie where I was like, oh, this is a really cool scene. There's not one joke that I really laughed out loud for or kind of chuckled at. It was just kind of, shrugging my shoulders kind of reaction. This is such a strange film. A really strange film. It looks like by the end of the film that they want to make this into a franchise, but I don't know why they would want to make this into a franchise. I don't know. Personally, I feel like everyone in this movie could have done a better job if the writing was better. And also, just because you're basing a movie off of a graphic novel that has very interesting and very cool imagery doesn't mean that the movie itself is going to be good, because, again, the story is kind of mediocre here. But yeah, if you really want to see it, it's on Netflix right now. Kind of disappointing in my personal opinion, but what to do?